The cheque may not be in the mail for much longer. Paying bills with cheques is not as popular as it used to be now that internet banking is going from strength to strength. And today the body that regulates the payment system is asking Australians just how attached they are to their chequebooks and whether they should eventually be phased out. Chris Hamilton is the CEO of the Australian Payments Clearing Association. He's with me in the studio. Chris Hamilton, good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you,
have we fallen out of love with cheques?
I'm afraid we have. The reality is cheques are going away in Australia. They've declined by 37% just in the last 4 years, and indeed they're now the least common non-cash method of making a payment.
Are you proposing getting rid of cheques completely?
No, we're far from that. What we want to do now is talk to people who still love their chequebooks and who still want to use them and find out what it is that is stopping them from taking up the range of alternatives that are very heavily used in Australia today.
So who's using cheques now?
So there are a range of groups which we think are people who might suffer dislocation here. So certainly older Australians is a key group. Charities and the not-for-profit sector, schools and clubs often use a lot of cheques, and small business too. And then I think the other group that we need to remember is the rural and isolated communities where cheques are still going strong.
So for those people who haven't embraced electronic internet banking, is there an alternative to cheques?
Well, yes, there is. There are already plenty of payment types which we would call electronic, like the card in your wallet, for example, where you don't need the technology of a computer to operate them. There are plenty of other alternatives out there. The question is how to set people up so they've got what they need.
So how are you going to gather this information? Who are you going to question?
OK, so we've got a public consultation paper which is available on our website. That's apca.com.au. It asks a bunch of questions and also lays out what we know so far. So there's some good information there about how cheques have gone in Australia in the last few years. And we want people to give us responses on that over the next couple of months, but we'll also be holding some roundtables. We'll be contacting the peak advisory groups, the representatives of these communities to try and understand what their views are.
Does the fact that cheques take longer to clear than internet transfers have any bearing on this?
I think that's a very relevant factor. One of the things we observe is that other types of payments have been evolving and changing as people's needs change, and they become highly responsive to what people want. Cheques have been pretty much the same for many years. They're tried and tested, that's true, but they're not changing.
When will you release your conclusions?
So we've got about 2 months of consultation, and then some months after that, what we want to do is come out with a proposals paper and give people another chance to look at the issue.
Chris Hamilton, thank you.
Thank you.